Sometimes those injuries and a hurdle in your life will really make you stop and think about your goals and where you want to go.
It was hard, but it gave me another challenge. I had a coach tell me, and I'll always remember this, he said, "Hey, you're lucky, you have a great opportunity to get better right now." And he was absolutely right. You know, always having a fallback, always having faith in yourself to achieve your goal no matter what is the direction that I took.
What was your mindset like in terms of continuing on in baseball?
I was blessed to get to Tennessee and have a realization quickly that I knew that I did not have the same passion to make it to the major leagues like I did my entire life. Music, for me, was my passion after baseball.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you to sing a little bit here. Today's guest brings together the heart of a musician and the mindset of an athlete. Welcome Mike Drew, Northern California-born singer-songwriter, former collegiate pitcher, and youth baseball coach who's turned discipline from the mound into stories that resonate far beyond the field. As frontman of the Mike Drew Band, he's shared stages with country greats like Lyle Lovett and Lee Brice. Offstage, he's shaping the next generation of athletes as a Los Gatos Little League coaching director and father of 3. Mike's journey is all about perseverance, creativity, and what it means to compete with heart in music, sports, and life. We'll be talking all about the impact pitching can have on your joints and his philosophy on youth sports. Welcome to the show, Mike Drew.
Thank you for having me, Pam.
Mike, I'm so excited for this conversation, and I know we've talked a little bit on the field, in the bleachers, about youth sports and your college career as a pitcher. But I'd love for you to share with our audience kind of where it all began for you and tell me about your high school career and going into college.
Yeah, well, born and raised in Los Gatos, California, played Los Gatos Little League, had some amazing coaches there, and played at Los Gatos High School and at Saratoga High School, and ventured to West Valley before continuing on to a Division II school called Lincoln Memorial University in Tennessee. So giving back now and coaching on those fields is very special.
Oh, I'm sure it's so reminiscent for you as well.
It is.
Okay,
it is.
So let's fast forward to high school. So obviously you were doing well in those younger years for you to be able to play at a high level in high school. So tell me, what were your positions in high school? And I'd love to hear if you had any injuries while you were doing those high school years.
Yeah, so during high school, I was shortstop, second base, pitcher, concentrated on those 3 positions. As far as the pitching goes, starting pitcher, so I had a lot of pitches that were thrown in my arm. So it was super important to, concentrate on those balance points and fundamentals that we'll go over later. A huge hurdle for me was prior to my senior year, I injured my arm in a car accident. And unfortunately, that took a lot of the, college aspirations and scholarships away, which was tough to take at that time. But it also gave me a lot of thinking and a lot of game planning and a lot of soul searching to get to the next level, which I was able to achieve.
Well, I mean, it's amazing that you were able to achieve that, but given that you had this injury, I'm sure that was a large hurdle to overcome. And I know we talk a lot, for me in my exam room with patients about injuries on the field, but you happen to have an injury off of the field.
Yes.
Tell me what that was for you mentally, because you clearly took care of your arm while you were doing all that pitching in high school. And then this thing happened. So tell us a little bit about what your mindset and what was going on in your head at that time.
Yeah. Well, it was a huge blow to my game plan. And my goal as a young child was to play professional sport and play baseball. And at that moment in time, as a youth mind, I thought I am absolutely not going to be able to achieve that goal. Thankfully, family and amazing coaches that I had during that time were able to reinstill a plan moving forward and give me examples of success stories of people who have achieved those goals with overcome adversity, like I was doing in real time. It was hard, but it gave me another challenge. And I was always someone who wrote my goals down on a piece of paper and was able to look at those and focus and restart the engine.
Yeah, I mean, making that sort of pivot must have been difficult. How supportive were your coaches, your athletic trainers, the most important people in your life? I know that's an important time for recruitment.
Yeah.
Was it something you guys, tried to hide, tried to downplay? Do you see that with other athletes? I'd love your experience coming from yourself and also what you see out there.
Yeah, it was an immediate change of direction. And I knew I still loved baseball, but going to San Diego State, going to Duke University that I had letters from, I had to find a way to mentally forget about that and start from ground zero, which was for me West Valley College. It's all about how you think of those things and trying to find the positives in every negative. That came directly from a few of my coaches and family members, which was super helpful. But, always having a fallback, always having faith in yourself to achieve your goal no matter what is the direction that I took.
Well, that's great because it really could have gone a different way, obviously. And so then you're recovering from your injury. This was the arm that was injured?
This was my right elbow. I'm a right-handed pitcher, so it couldn't have been worse.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I know with athletes, they're so careful on the field. And we've really become good about taking care of that shoulder and elbow.
That's right.
Pitch counts are absolutely a thing now. They became popular in the 80s and 90s. It was around 100 pitch counts for the young athletes. Now we're very granular, actually, with different age groups. Tell me, when you were growing up, what was it about pitch counts? Did they have them? Did you just throw all the time? How was anyone taking care of your arm?
Yes. Well, times have changed on that. And, when I was growing up through Little League, I believe there were pitch counts, but they were not followed as closely as they are in today's world. There was a lot more of, how do you feel, Mike? You feeling okay today? All right, go get them, buddy.
Is it a good vibe in your shoulder
you
today?
feeling okay today? Okay, yeah, go get them, right? Moving through high school, it was, hey, if you're not on the mound pitching, they're not going to be able to see you. There wasn't, for the recruiting purposes, as much video, obviously no YouTube, no ways to truly package yourself to these colleges. So if you're not playing and getting those stats where you could resort to, that's a bad thing. So there are these area code tournaments that they used to have that were somewhat a start of the travel ball, where all the best players.
Were these when you kids were young or also in high school? Like, was that something you did while you were playing high school baseball?
Yeah. During high school baseball, they had area codes.
Okay.
And you could only be invited to these area codes if your coach nominated you. And so since there wasn't travel ball, that was the only place to be seen.
Oh, that's so interesting. You brought up a great point about how YouTube and these videos, social media didn't exist. And so, as you were saying, if you weren't out there, nobody knew how to rate you or think about you in terms of how you would fit in on their team.
True.
And you also mentioned travel ball. So I just want to tell our audience that about travel ball. Well, actually, you would know this better than me, even though we both have sons in travel ball. But tell us about what it is to play in Little League versus travel ball and what that culture has become.
Oh, completely different cultures. Little League still, we're trying to have that hometown, making friends experience, for your town experience for these kids. Travel ball is almost a win at all cost, super competitive, flair with the uniforms, flair with the bats. It is very exciting in both worlds, but they're completely different. The amount of pressure in each is there, but just in different capacity.
Yeah, I mean, from my experience as a parent, less so as an orthopedic surgeon, multiple kids are playing on multiple travel ball teams.
Yes.
And yes, there is the pitch counts now, but if you're playing on multiple teams, there really isn't a person, calculating the amount of pitches you're pitching when you're playing on several teams a week and playing tournament after tournament after tournament. And so that is something that I think that in the moving forward in the future, we are going to have to figure a way around that, because kids are pitching faster, harder, and more time than ever before.
Agreed. And a lot of pitch count, if you really think about it, we focus primarily on pitching.
Yes.
Pitch counts, right? In reality, these kids are playing more baseball, more innings at different positions, and they're playing more sports. They're throwing the football. They're going down to after practice. They're still playing catch. So it's monitoring the amount of arm activity that these kids are doing per day, even above and beyond the pitch count.
Okay, and why this is important is because in that growing shoulder and elbow, we have these growth plates that have not completely fused yet. And so we can get a lot of inflammation. You can get subtle fractures. It's less about the tissue, actually, less about the rotator cuff, less about the UCL at that age. It's more about their bones, actually, at that age. So, but when you were a senior in high school, you obviously hurt your elbow. Yep. You went off to West Valley. Let's talk now about how you went from West Valley to your next college, and talk about how that process was, especially for those athletes out there that maybe in high school they had an injury, or for some reason, they can't make it to the college of their dreams where they want to play baseball or basketball or whatever. Tell us what that journey was like for you.
Well, I had a coach tell me, and I'll always remember this. He said, "Hey, you're lucky. You have a great opportunity to get better right now." And he was absolutely right. I was able to rehab and take that time to get stronger, which I had not done with weights and that type of strengthening program. And I was able to throw with more velocity after my injury. And for me, that was a game changer. And it was really exciting to go through West Valley the few years that I was there and become a different pitcher with a stronger body, different mechanics that leveraged more of the lower body versus throwing with all my arm, and be able to throw 5-6 miles per hour faster than I did my senior year, or I should say my junior year of high school.
Oh, that's awesome. So you developed a lot at West Valley.
Developed a lot.
Okay.
Correct.
And so what was that recruitment process for you like?
Yeah, recruitment process. Well, it was two very different things. Recruitment process at West Valley, for me, I was blessed to have my pitching coach get a job in Eastern Tennessee.
Oh, that helps.
And so that helped a lot. For me, it was wonderful to be able to go from California to a completely other type of environment and culture. Being born and raised in Los Gatos, California, AKA the bubble.
Yes, definitely the bubble.
Which is a wonderful place. But for me, I was able to really spread my wings and get to a different culture to where I could really grow as a person and an athlete. But the overall process, I reached out with letters, right? Just like all the rest of us do. And contacts are everything. Different baseball coaches I've had in the past were trying to get me to their school. And I chose to go to Eastern Tennessee with the coach I trusted.
That's great. I think you brought up a really good point too. Your relationships and contacts are everything in life. And that goes for a job,
yes,
and sports. And people want to work with people that they know and that they get along with. And so obviously the talent has to be there, of course, but those things are so important. They're the intangible. Okay, so you get to Tennessee. What was that like? And what was it now to play at a different level of baseball? You hadn't been there yet. I mean, you had dreams of it in high school, but what was that like for you?
Well, it was an eye-opening experience. To play 4-year college baseball, you better be invested and you better really love the sport that you're playing. And I say that because every morning at 5:30, we worked out, we lifted weights, we ran in the freezing cold for an hour. Then we took the tarp off the baseball field as a team. And then we had a short practice before you started school at 8 a.m. So
wow.
This is an every single day, not Monday through Friday. This is Monday through Sunday in the off season. So it was a very eye-opening experience. In my mind, I thought, oh, I'm going to a Division II school. This is going to be no problem. The talent level is going to be, hey, I was great at West Valley Community College, no problem, right? Well, there are many great athletes with every step you take, and you're only as good as a player and anything if you're not getting better per year. Every year is a great opportunity to strengthen yourself mentally and physically.
Yeah, that I love that you guys did that all as a team, taking the tarp off the baseball field. We've lost a little bit of that, don't you think?
I definitely think, yes. It made us such a close team, and it really, as an individual player, you've gone through a really hard times even before you step foot in an actual game.
Yeah, that's great. So while you were playing there,
Yes.
what was your mindset like in terms of continuing on in baseball? Did you know that this is going to be it for me? I've had a great career. Did you think, okay, let's see what happens after this? Where was your mindset here? I'm really interested in how athletes gauge that at such a young age. I mean, that managing those emotions is so tough.
I was blessed to get to Tennessee and have a realization quickly that I knew that I did not have the same passion to make it to the major leagues like I did my entire life. And
wow, what was the trigger for that? How did you know that?
yeah, I was able to look around and see some of the players that were giving 100% of every second of their day to the craft. And it was not fun for me to do that.
Okay.
I had other aspirations that arose, friendships, interest in music popped up, knowing that, there were other things that, with school and education that I might want to put my full effort into.
Well, okay, so when did that happen when you were there? Was that in the first year? Did you know it right away?
I knew it right away.
Okay.
I knew it right away. I think what actually led to this is with the injury I had that prevented me from going immediately from high school to San Diego State, which is where I was planning to go before the injury. I think just the duration and the hard work to get to where I ended up in Eastern Tennessee, that was good enough for me. And I felt like I achieved my goal. Now, keep in mind, I still worked very, very hard to be the best I could be, but I knew my goals had shifted.
Well, that's beautiful because sometimes those injuries and a hurdle in your life will really make you stop and think about your goals and where you want to go. And so you probably saw this other side. Okay, what if I don't have baseball? What if baseball is over for me right now as a senior in college or senior in high school, actually?
Yeah.
And so that probably helped you reevaluate things.
It absolutely did.
Okay, so can you take me to that last game that you played? What was that feeling?
Yeah.
As you know that this is, you're going to play recreationally, but you're done.
That was a difficult day. And, kudos to my coach out there. He gave me the start that day, knowing. I told him the full scoop, and he kind of saw where my intentions were. It was a crazy day. It was super fun. It was an emotional day, not for me on the field, but afterwards going like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, my drive. It wasn't I didn't reach my ultimate goal, but, the process, the everyday working towards something, having that change is a big blow to the mental, right? So the game was great. It was super fun, but my mind was definitely not in the game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happened after? You finished college. Mm-hmm. You know that, you're kind of at the end of the road as far as professional baseball goes. Mm-hmm. What did you decide to do at that point? You had mentioned that music was starting to simmer up for you.
Yeah. Well, during the college experience with baseball, I was fortunate to meet a lot of people in Eastern Tennessee and be able to kind of further my interest in music. Playing piano for the town on Sundays before Mass was a pretty exciting experience. Having 500 people say, hey, hey, piano guy from Cali, I loved what you did today. So
I love that.
That was fun. But yeah, I got back home and immediately started coaching with one of my best friends from Los Gatos, Eric Raish. I'll give him a drop there.
Yeah.
He started CCB, one of the first travel teams
In this area, yes.
in this area. And we together coached the first 2-3 years before I ventured on to a different occupation.
Yes.
But was right into coaching.
Okay,
Right
so
from the back.
baseball never left you, really?
Baseball never left, but baseball never left. And I love baseball more than anything in this world, to be honest with you. It instilled many great habits and passions for me. So being able to take that and give back to youth today is wonderful.
Okay, so we know you have 3 beautiful kids, an amazing wife, also beautiful herself. So 2 of your kids play baseball.
Yes.
Tell me how that is being their coach and their dad and having the experience you had in baseball. What is that like for you? And what would you tell your younger self? Because that's probably what you're doing with your with your kids is you're coaching them in a way maybe that would be different having all this knowledge now. Yes.
True. It is quite the delicate line to walk on, as we all know as parents, right?
Yes.
I wouldn't trade it for the world. Coaching them in any sport, let alone baseball, is every chance I get to be out there is amazing. I tell my beautiful wife, Jill, that yes, sometimes I'm panicking and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get to the field today? Once I'm at the field with my boys, there's nothing better than that. It is the perfect scenario, whether it's a good day or a bad day. Coaching them, some days they are very vocal and say, hey, I love when you're out there as coach. And some days they're like, I don't want you to coach next year. And I think that is very normal. The more coaches I talk to that are in a similar situation, our job as dad is to be dad, and our job as coach is to be coach. When you're out there as the same person, it's important to be as great as a communicator with not only your own kids, but with the other kids on the field and the other coaches that could probably act as coach to your son or daughter out there. That's one key. But also remembering when you're out there, when you think back as a player, you are only remembering the positive and the fun that you have on the baseball field. And as dad, talking about mechanics on the field with other players observing is probably not the best idea. Maybe waiting for your child to come to you after might be a better approach.
I'm sure that is a tough balance for you, but as someone who played high level, you must definitely see things and just kind of cringe a little, or, oh, we could fix that, or I know they can do this better. I mean, my point is you must have high expectations of your boys. And how do you deal with that? How do you make sure that they're having fun, but that they are playing at their best level also? What is that balance?
My favorite key to this is making sure as a coach and as a dad that you have the right expectations, not for that day, but for the future. And what it does is it immediately takes all the pressure and angst from that particular practice or game away. For example, for Dean and for Clay, I personally feel and hope for them that they love the game and they want to play college or pro. That particular day at practice, we're going to have it be as fun as possible, and we're not going to worry about winning the game. We're going to worry about how can we as a team and as an individual relationship get better at one thing today. They're going to have that time when they get to high school or college where their coach is going to be very demanding.
Sure.
And they will have to perform in real time then. But with you as youth baseball coach, dad, your job is to make sure that they are able to digest positivity and repetition the right way.
Okay. And what is your advice to parents out there? Because as me and you talked before we started this even, and we've talked many times about this, this is a competitive sport. It's a competitive area we live in. Youth sports has become a little crazy in my opinion with, people playing multiple travel ball teams and also focusing on one sport so early. Yeah. So what is your advice to parents?
Yeah, advice to parents is when you're on the sidelines, do your very best not to shout anything out into the open.
I love that you just said that because that's all we hear.
I know. And there's always an excuse and there's always, but we had to say it because of this, or we know our player because of that. Whether it's positive or negative, let the coach and the player find a way to overcome adversity and become their own being on the field. They're developing just like we are as parents, right? We need to give them the grace to become that player. And again, this goes back to my previous statement. These guys, they just want to have fun out there. They're not thinking about where I should be standing on the field. They're thinking about, I'm going to make this play because it's going to look awesome, right? So let's let them be positive, have fun. And if they want to talk about it, which they likely will, you'll have your time that day or the next day.
And when is the time to talk to them about it? Say your kid is upset with how the team played or they played themselves. When is the time to talk about that?
When they're ready to talk about that. Yeah,
okay.
when they approach you, tell me about it. Of course, if you have a child who doesn't talk a lot, which happens, right? You could always say, hey, how do you think it went today, right? In the car is a wonderful place. But you know your child, right? If they need time, give them time. The more I don't say anything to one of my kids, the more he talks. The more I talk to another one, the opposite occurs, right? So it's kind of knowing your player. And, again, we are parent first, not coach first. They likely don't want to hear what we have to say about the mechanics or what if you would have done this about the game. They want to hear, hey, let's, you guys want to go to Double D's?
Yeah.
We want to go to Pastaria? What do you guys want to go to Loma? Let's go grab something to eat. That right there tells them, yeah, dad understands. He gets it, and they'll talk when they're ready.
And was that how it was for you growing up? And at what point did you feel like things kind of get a little tougher for the athlete?
Yeah, that's exactly how it was when I grew up. And I love that. My dad was an amazing coach, and he was super positive, but very knowledgeable. He played professional baseball, my dad. And, just like my son, Dean, right about now, when we were 11 and 12 years old, he said, I think I kind of want to do things on my own now.
Yeah.
And so, that's how I grew up. And I was blessed to have wonderful coaches that were able to communicate, positive, demanding, but always giving the lane of grace and positivity.
Okay, that's great. And what do you think, because I know we haven't even talked about this, you played basketball at a pretty high level in high school as well.
Yes.
So what do you think about how we are starting to focus on one sport earlier? And what age do you think is the right age to start focusing on that one sport? And how do we make sure that our child isn't just choosing something because, they had a good day versus a bad day?
Play as many sports as possible. As many sports as possible would be my answer to that. I think the kids are very unique in their preference. If they love one or two sports, hey, that's what they're going to do. But if they have an opportunity to play more than one or two sports, hey, go get them, and we'll make it work as mom and dad, even though it's not easy as our professional carpool system goes, right? It's healthy for them, and it's great for their mental, I think, to play more sports.
Yeah, I think that this focus on getting into one sport and only doing that sport year round, that's, I think, also a little bit of the issue with travel ball. It's great for development. You're continuing that sport through the year, but it does sometimes take you out of the running for some other sports just for, logistic reasons. And I know for me, when I see athletes in my office and I start talking to them about cross training, because that, joint or ligament has an overuse injury, they look at me with like a blank face. The idea of cross training is foreign concept to some people in this area.
It is. It absolutely is. Very important, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you were telling me that you chose baseball, but you actually have a real deep passion for basketball. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was born into a baseball family. Everybody played baseball, and it definitely is, it's a love of mine. I think I might have already mentioned that.
Yeah.
Basketball for me is way more, I have way more passion. Why that is, I think it's just the speed of the game, the contact, the physical nature is a little different. I never played football, always loved football, but basketball was my way to get aggression out.
Yeah.
And I think the ability to do that for me was great. What was my gateway to be a little more physical as an athlete. Baseball is great in many ways too, but you're probably not supposed to throw it too many batters, right? So yeah, for me, that was a great energy release.
Well, I love that because also sometimes, and this is true of medicine, I went into orthopedic surgery, but what I tell the younger generation all the time is there's a lot of professions in medicine you could be happy with. I could have been a plastic surgeon and been very happy. I could have been, an OBGYN and been very happy. So it's great that you had these two loves in high school and it led you kind of went into that baseball, but it's okay. It could have easily has been basketball. Mm-hmm. So I think it's great for youth athletes to hear that too, because they sometimes put their eggs all in one basket and life feels over if they can't do that.
And another exactly to the point is playing a different sport will only make you better in your number one sport.
Yeah.
The lateral movement and the quickness and a basketball, for a shortstop or for any other position is a huge plus.
Yeah.
It will only make you better.
That's awesome. Well, Mike, I have really enjoyed talking to you about baseball, especially since I see you on the field. And I know you haven't coached my kids specifically on a team, but you were out there coaching all of Los Gatos Little League kids.
Yes.
Everyone feels that you're their coach and everyone just enjoys that so much. I know the parents just really admire your coaching mentality and philosophy. And I can say that too as a parent and part of the community.
Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would love to talk a little bit about your other passion that you picked up in mostly college, right? Or was it before that? So tell us a little bit about that.
But yeah. So music for me was my passion after baseball or after playing baseball.
Okay.
So in college, I picked up some steam and met some amazing people who I ran into at certain honky tonks in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I looked and said, wow, that looks really fun. I think I kind of want to do that. So I'd always played piano as a young boy and sang in my room when hopefully nobody was listening, right?
Yeah.
I was a little shy and didn't want anyone to know I liked music that much, but the older I got, it became something that really kept me focused on all walks of life.
That's great. Yeah. And you write your own music as well?
Yes, write my own music.
And did you like country music before going to Tennessee?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. Somehow, yeah, I loved country. I love all music, first of all, but country music for me, Tim McGraw. And when I heard Tim McGraw and I heard Kenny Chesney, I'm like, wait a second, who are these guys? This is incredible.
Yeah.
So I've always loved the fiddle and that type of, kind of country music. That stage, the early '90s, the late '80s, early '90s, all that fun stuff.
Can't get better than that.
Oh, can't get better.
Yeah.
So, that kind of helped me morph my piano playing to go to construct songs and start going, wait a second, maybe I'll try this out a little bit. So start from 15, 16 years old, I started structuring long narratives that I wrote on pieces of paper to songs. And a lot of those songs we actually performed today, which is pretty fun.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you to sing a little bit here. You got to give our audience a little of your music.
Yeah. So let's see here. One of the songs that I wrote literally the first week that I was in Tennessee is called "Maybe It's the Whiskey," and the song.
Maybe it is.
The song is primarily about my roommate that I first had. Loved to go to rodeos, and I went there with my roommate and his friends. And I said, wow, this is super cool to go to a rodeo in Eastern Tennessee and look up and see the orange sky. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. Los Gatos is orange. And I'm like, well, maybe this is my new hometown.
Oh, I love that.
So, so maybe the whiskey. So if you'd like me to.
I would love for you to sing. Yes,
okay, I'll give you
please
a little sounds. We grew up on Wrangler jeans, T-shirt, George straight tight, thinking we are the man of belt buckles in hand, enough money for the night. In Eastern Tennessee, you know, we're gonna love it all the way. Put a belt in our hand, a drink in our hand, you know it's all the time. Maybe it's the whiskey, could it be the rodeo? Might have been the cowgirls, the way they ride and rope. Maybe I was wrong, maybe they were right. Maybe I was home under the Tennessee sky.
Oh my God, it was so good. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, tell everyone where they can find you, because you obviously have this band now too. So tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, you could find us on MikeDrewBand.com. And that's where all of our shows are. We have all of our social media feeds. So yeah, we're pretty excited. We're playing in Nashville for the first time.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. But yeah, we play all local gigs. We're Santana Row, Los Gatos, all next year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mike. It's been great to have you here. And I wish you the best of luck with your music career. And obviously, I'll see you on the baseball field. And I think you are such an important pillar of this community as it relates to all the things, but definitely for our youth athletes. And we need more of the mentality and philosophy you have. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much, Pam.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to The Resilience Factor. If you're ready to build a stronger, longer-lasting body, make sure to subscribe and share this episode with someone who's ready to thrive. You can follow me at Dr. Pamela Mehta for more expert tips on strength, recovery, and orthopedic health. Until next time, stay strong, stay smart, and stay resilient.